everyone, and welcome to yet another impactful session at Parenting Summit 2024. Today, we are shining a spotlight on a critical issue that affects not only individual teens, but entire school community, addressing bullying, recognizing signs and providing support. Joining us is the esteemed Ms. Rachna Pant, Director of Ramjas International School, New Delhi. With her extensive experience in education and her compassionate approach to students' well being, Ms. Pant has been at the forefront of creating safe and supportive school environment. Today, she will guide us in understanding how to recognize bullying, addressing it effectively, and building a culture of kindness and respect. Let's dive right into this essential discussion. Welcome, ma'am, to Parenting Summit 2024.
Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Wonderful, ma'am. It's always pleasure to interact with you.
No, it's nice to sort of actually know that you people are thinking about bullying and what is the role of maybe the schools or the parents, and how
Right.
can children themselves help themselves in order to save themselves from bullying.
Right, ma'am. Right, ma'am.
Because
So
I
let's.
sorry.
Sorry, ma'am. You were saying something. Sorry.
No. Continue.
Okay. So, ma'am, let's understand, a little deeper. So, what are some of the, signs of bullying that parents and teachers should look out for, especially in teens?
Okay. See, the first thing, let me begin by saying that nobody is born a bully.
Hmm.
It is
Right.
situations that make you a bully. Now,
Hmm.
whether that bully is a child, a teenager, an adult, anybody can be a bully. So this is one thing that you have to understand. You cannot brand a child or anybody as a bully from childhood, right?
Right.
Now, having understood this, the other thing that I would like to say is that, again, you have to actually identify the child and to find out as to how can you identify a child is being bullied. That is what you are
Mhm.
asking,
Right, ma'am.
right? So, right. So for that, one has to understand that healing yourself is the most important thing. And how can you
Hmm.
heal yourself is, first, you have to
Hmm.
understand that you are being bullied. That is the
Okay.
first. Second thing is, you should understand the telltale signs of bullying, which you
Mhm.
as a child may not understand that this is bullying. You may attribute it to so many other things. So if a child is feeling low, if a child is, the grades or the marks of the child are falling,
Mhm.
if the child is absenting himself from a school,
Mhm.
if you see that there are some sort of injury marks in the child,
Okay.
if you feel that the child is getting irritated, the child is cranky, the child loses temper, or sometimes draws into the shell, these are
Hmm.
all telltale signs of bullying.
Hmm.
And this is something which the child should be made aware from the very, from class 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. So
Right.
this is what, the parent should know, the child should know, and the student should know, because it is the peer which will see these signs in the child, then
Mhm.
help the child solve it, or at least report it to the authorities.
Right. It's very important point, ma'am. Very important because all points which you have highlighted, these are all non-verbal.
Yes,
We as an adult or as a parent or an educator, we need to, be noticing these things in the kid. Kid may not be coming forward. It's very important, ma'am. So,
yes,
at times kids don't open up. So
yes.
we will discuss that also. So, ma'am, why do you think some teens engage in bullying, and how can we address the root cause rather than just the behavior?
Okay. Now, how can we address is what you're saying. Now,
Right, ma'am.
first thing is that there are, the school is like a pyramid. There are three people: the school, the
Hmm.
parents, and the students. Now, the student is being bullied. How
Hmm.
should we address it? First thing is that both the parents and the school have to be on the same platform. So now from the school side, the school should hold extensive workshops and talks and discussions on bullying. Right? And the things that I told you, the telltale signs that are there, the counselor or the psychologist or the workshop head should be dealing with each of these points so that every child understands that, oh, yes, maybe I'm being bullied or my friend is being bullied. So this is how the peer understands, the child understands, and in a subtle manner, everybody comes to know. And if a child is there, then the school should help the child to open up. There should be small groups, that is called the circle time. Make the child sit, the children sit, have a small little, closed box. Make the children put their points. The child himself may not want to express in front of others, but then these are there. And then this can be addressed by the counselor or the psychologist, or even the class teacher is good enough to do that.
Very true.
So that is one thing. Now we come to the parents. Now for the parents also should be attending these workshops. Just to think that I know all, or I have given birth to my child and now it is only the school's responsibility. No, we are joining hands. We are sort of co-workers, co-collaborators in the development of our child. Their child, my child. Because what do we see? My children, our children in the school. So this. So now there are lots of workshops and talks that are held in the school. Parents should attend these workshops. The other thing is parents also need to be very, very proactive. And they should also try and see that what is happening to the child. So they have to be very vigilant and agile. Right? Then the next thing is, if they feel something is happening to their child or somebody else's child, because their child may have told them कि ये बच्चे के साथ ऐसा हो रहा था. Okay. Not only my child. I go tell my mother, my friend है ना उसके साथ ऐसा हो रहा है. So then the onus and the responsibility as a responsible member of the school community is to go to the principal or whoever the head is, convey that this is what is happening and we would like you to intervene or take corrective action. So that is what the parent should be doing. Then the second thing is lines of channel should always be open. Because what happens, sometimes the children are so scared of their parents, they don't tell. So this communication between the parents and the child should always be there. So that little sort of leverage should be given. Because in our community still, by and large, we have what you call authoritative parents. Now, these authoritative parents are, this is what it is and this is what it's not. So that has to be actually mellowed down a little. So while if the father is authoritative, the mother can be more of a cajoling type, trying to talk. One thing I have also realized is if the parents, after coming from school, always talk to their child. Just little, आज क्या हुआ स्कूल में, कैसा था, in a lighter way, and then slowly come to different topics. Instead of saying कि तुमको इसने डांटा, तुमको इसने मारा, ये क्या हुआ, that is not. What happened, how was it, what was the good thing, what did you learn, and then slowly wean yourself into और भी कुछ हुआ था. So what happens, then if that is there, then the child will start opening up. So I have a request for the parents, please talk to your child. Please, make them feel comfortable. Then slowly they will come up. You've seen so many suicide cases and other cases where the parents are not telling the children are not telling their parents. And that leads to such things. Even in schools. Another thing, yes, I would like to say is sometimes what happens, the children are very scared of their parents. There is something that has happened at home. And then in school, they become like bullies. They want attention, or there are two siblings. One is good, and so the child is being sort of given a lot of importance, and the other is chided all the time. So then that child becomes a bully.
Right.
Because the child is what is like attention seeking.
Right.
This is an attention seeking tactics. Bullying is one of this, attention seekers. So why is the child bullying? There has to be a reason. Right. It's not out of whims and fancies, as I said earlier in my statement. Nobody is born a the situations with that add up. So that has to be addressed. So these are some of my,
Yeah, it's very important because there are two sides to it. One, a child who's getting bullied, but at the same time, there is a child who's bullying, who's of the
yes,
same age, right?
yes,
So, but there has to be some reason why that other child who has started bullying other children, right?
yes,
Understanding that is also a very important thing,
yes. So
you
both
know?
have to be understood. The
Right.
one who's being bullied and the one who's bullying. Both have
Correct.
the one who's being bullied has very low self-esteem
Hmm.
or is scared or
Right.
is not faring well in the exams, or at home he's again, asked to shoot down authoritative parents, helicopter parents being there. Right? And the other one may also have its reasons. As I said, so many
Right.
reasons can. So both have to be addressed.
Right, right. It is important because one can't just focus on children who are getting bullied and
Yes,
be sympathetic about it, but at the same time understand why the other person who started bullying, the
yes,
challenges that kid is going through, that
very,
is also important.
very
Right,
important.
ma'am? Yes, yes, yes. So, how can, parents and school, let's say, work together to create an environment where, this bullying is not done to any children? I mean, whether they're getting bullied or, do, the
Right.
what are the steps as a team,
See, one thing that
parents?
I can think off the cuff is
Hmm.
that there is a little committee, a discipline committee. There is a parent body and a committee. Now, what
Hmm.
happens from each class or each section? Identify
Hmm.
one or two parents. They
Hmm.
have a cohort of other parents who
Hmm.
share about
Hmm.
such incidents, and then
Hmm.
together at one particular day, once a month,
Hmm.
there is a PTA or something. That day, along with the counselor, along with a few other teachers, they sit and discuss these issues. So now what I was saying is, how can parents and sort of school together work?
Hmm.
So one
Hmm.
is forming these committees, discipline
Right.
committees, another. Second is taking part in a lot of workshops together. The third
Hmm.
thing we can do is, encouraging support by encouraging the counselors that are there. That is the
Hmm.
third thing that they should be doing. And if they do, the fourth is reinforcing any person, any child who is giving a feedback. So
Hmm.
positive reinforcement of a
Hmm.
child who has mustered up the courage or the guts to come and talk to the parents or the teacher. That so
Right.
these are certain things that they should do together. And if they do this together with a no
Hmm.
bullying zone, and then here in the child who is bullying, their parents should also actually
Hmm.
tick off their own child. Now, ticking off
Right.
doesn't mean scolding the child, but addressing
Right.
the issue.
Right.
These are the ways in which I feel something can
Right.
be done.
Ma'am, and one last question. Like you said, what we have experienced and what we are seeing now, bullying is also like a triangle. There is one who's getting affected, the one who's doing, but at the same time, there is a bystander. So how can teens who are bystanders be encouraged to step up and intervene, safely in bullying situations? I mean, there is a
Yeah,
third party also, which we
right,
see.
right, right, right.
They are
We
not
feel,
responding because it is not affecting them right then. But at some longer point, either they will move to a bully category or get bullied, right?
yeah. So for this, they have, as I said, reinforcement and giving them encouragement, giving them certain incentives.
Hmm.
Incentives can be in the form of a pat on the back, can be something else. You can, and in this, the best thing is if you take the student counselors. I've tried this. Take the student
Okay.
and say, okay, there are children who bully and there are children who are being bullied. Now you tell me,
Hmm.
what should we do? I am an onlooker. Tomorrow you are going to be the citizens of the country. And
Right.
you see this happening. Lots of
Hmm.
injustice happening, and you will just stand there that it is not affecting me, so I should not do it.
Hmm.
So tomorrow, to that, you have to make them responsible citizens also. So
Correct.
for that, you tell them and then ask them. You will not believe they come up with such lovely ideas. Ma'am, we should do
Hmm.
this, we should do that. And then what happens, you tell them, okay, now this is the child and this is the child. Can you first sit together, peer tutoring, peer help, not tutoring, but peer helping, and try and solve the issue? They come up, they do
Right.
it very well. So try
Right.
that out. If that doesn't work, then you go on to the next step. But
Right.
positive reinforcement and positive telling them, you
Hmm.
will be
Hmm.
sort of rewarded in whatever.
Right.
It's not always marks.
Right. Great, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your valuable insight into addressing bullying, a challenge that many parents, schools, and teens face today. Your
Yeah.
emphasis on recognizing the signs early and fostering collaboration between school and family has provided us with a clear pathway to,
Yeah.
creating safer and more compassionate environment for our children.
Good.
To our audience, remember that addressing bullying is not just about intervening in individual incidents, but about building a culture of empathy and accountability. Together, we can help our teens navigate these challenges and emerge stronger and more resilient.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being part of this crucial conversation. Stay tuned for more enriching discussions at the Parenting Summit. Thanks once again, Rachna ma'am, for your insightful
One
session
last
today.
little word I would like to
Yes,
say while
ma'am, please.
talk says, the children should always remember one cannot heal oneself by wounding others. If you wound
Mhm.
another, you cannot heal yourself.
Very beautifully said, ma'am.
Yes.
Beautiful. It's a thought-provoking statement. One
Yeah.
should think about it.
Yeah.
Great,
Thank
ma'am.
you
Thanks a lot.
so much.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for this.